bird on a tree. I'm just sitting here. I got time. It's clear to see.
Alright, so it's still a pretty crazy year and I'm still behind on orders, so I am still working. Yeah, it's just normally this time of year I'd be done and could get on back onto some of the boat projects, but not this year. But don't get me wrong, I'm thankful for the income that I have. Another industry I noticed is really busy is boats. A lot of people are buying new boats. It's setting record in boat sales right now, along with timeshares type deals and stuff like that. But what I want to talk about, it's not new boats, it's project boats. If you take on a project boat, it's a huge deal. I bought my boat knowing it was a piece of crap, and I was okay with that. Well, so I thought. There were many times I thought I'd made a huge mistake and this piece of junk should have just been scrapped. My biggest fear, though, was paying too much money for a large boat and then having something break and it costing a ton of money that I may not have. I've been looking at other people's projects recently, and some of them are like me. Some saw the history in the boat and wanted to bring it back, and some just paid a lot of money and thought it was a nice boat for what they thought was a nice boat, and it turned out to be a disaster. If you're thinking about a project boat, I say do it. But understand, it's not an investment, it's an adventure. You will never get that money back. It's not about that. When I was younger, I was hired at Ciera. I wasn't there long. It was prefab boats, put in the same boat over and over again. I left there to help refit an old PT boat. It was converted into a yacht. It was a pile of rotting trash, but the knowledge, skill, and craftsmanship of the people working on it was amazing. We rebuilt that boat. We learned to overcome, be creative, and were constantly covered in epoxy. When one of those Sea Rays rolled out, it was just another nice, expensive boat. But when that PT boat floated out, it was a floating piece of history that we brought back to life. Our blood and sweat were in its frames. It was an incredible sense of pride and accomplishment. You can't buy that. That's the same with your boat. When you take on a project, you will learn and grow tremendously. You will accomplish things that you didn't know you were capable of. When you are done, you will know every inch of that boat. If something goes wrong, you will know exactly what it is and how to fix it. You can make things the way you want them. The pride and excitement you will feel is absolutely incredible. So many people finance these big, expensive boats, and they have pride for a little bit, but it fades pretty fast. They will never know the love for a boat that you will. One of the most important things I learned is to not get in a hurry. Do not rush things. It will cause mistakes and you will regret it. I learned that sometimes it's best to just stop and walk away. When you get frustrated and down, just step back. A couple of times I dug myself a hole and created more work for myself than if I'd have just stepped back. When it seems overwhelming and never ending, just do something small. When you accomplish small things, you see progress and it helps a lot, and you will be surprised how much you actually get done. You don't have to be rich to have a nice boat. You don't have to know everything about boats. Just research, ask questions. You learn as you go. People will disagree with this, but everything does not have to be right, marine grade, and proper. If you can afford it, by all means, get the best stuff and do it right. But if you can't, work with what you got. Many people will be telling you you're doing it wrong, you shouldn't do that. But they're usually just people that are sitting there commenting and making up excuses about why they're not doing it. There's a couple of YouTube channels out there I really like. One is Tally Ho. Leo, he is doing it right. It's absolutely amazing to see him bring this boat back. Another one is Bums on a Boat. They literally just set off, and thank God they never sank. But now they've taken a step back and they're learning as they go, and they're trying to get things right on a budget. Selling Good, Bad, and Ugly. They are just on a small budget, plain and simple, living it. It's pretty cool to watch. Selling Magic Carpet, that's another one where they took a demolished boat that was a complete loss and they brought it back to life. So if you're interested in doing it, just do it. There are plenty of cheap boats out there and people have given up on, and some are even free. I can tell you, it will be frustrating. It will piss you off. And you'll cuss at it, and you might even lose a little sleep over it. But in the end, it's worth it. It will give you a pride and a sense of accomplishment that you can't buy, and many will never experience. Don't make excuses. Just move forward and learn.